is long, with a many a winding turn that leads us to who knows where, who knows where. But I'm strong, strong enough to carry him. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. So on we go. His welfare is my concern. No burden is he to bear. We'll get there. For I know he would not encumber me. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. If I'm a lady at all, I'm a laden with sadness that everyone's heart isn't filled with the gladness of love for one another. It's a long, long road from which there is no return. While we're on the way to there, why not share? And the load doesn't weigh me down at all. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. He's my brother. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. He ain't heavy. Oh, thank you. I don't think we can hear you.
There we go. How's that?
That's much better.
That was just beautiful. As I said during rehearsal, that brings me back to my 12-year-old self with my little soup box turntable. Remember those with the little handle?
Oh,
I just carry that all over the house and play my Osmond Brother records. And so that brought me right back.
It was amazing music back then. They made such great music back in those days.
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful time to grow up. That was just such wholesome, heart-opening music, wasn't it?
Yeah,
just beautiful.
Well,
thank you. And welcome, everybody. We're so delighted to have you here. So glad you decided to give this gift to yourself. We're about to unfold a beautiful service for you, and we always begin by setting the intention. And so I invite you all to just take a deep breath, to breathe in a bit of space and allow yourself to become fully present in this moment, because everything is right here in this moment. And what I know is that this service unfolds perfectly, that it is of service and to each and every person here today, that there is some beautiful nugget, a song lyric, a bit of a meditation, a bit of the message that just resonates and serves and expands each and every person who is here today or who watches later. It's wonderful to live on forever in the internet. So I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Although I can't see you, I feel your presence here today. So it's with great gratitude, I just say, and so it is. And I invite Nick in. to bring us into a beautiful meditation. Welcome, Nick. I look forward to spending these next 15 minutes or so with you in deep, deep relaxation and peace and presence. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Nick Michelli. I'm a certified spiritual practitioner here at Global Truth Center Toronto and a ministry student. And our theme for this month is caring. And as Dr. Laurie asked you, I encourage you to release all thoughts of the day and be completely present. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Just pay attention to your breath without changing anything. Let your breath fall in easily with no effort. Just relaxed, deep breaths. And feel your weight sinking toward the earth. Know that the earth, the powerful earth, supports everyone. Feel that grounding. Be aware of the energy all around you. Feel the peace and remember that everyone gathered here to listen to this service today is part of one unity. We're all part of the same whole. Just feel that connection. And continue to breathe deeply and fully. I know that I live in a world of infinite choice, a world of love and creativity. And I call this principle of creation God, Spirit, universal mind, infinite love, the quantum field. All possibilities exist in the universal mind. The universal mind is abundant. All wealth, all resources, all blessings come from this creative process. And the universal creator is love. Universal mind can only create in love. I invite everyone to continue to breathe deeply and fully. The universal mind, the universal creator, is always caring. The abundance of the universe shows me how universal love cares for me. I recognize the great vitality that's all around me. I see it in all of nature. I see the abundance of spirit. world is constantly changing, constantly revealing its brilliance and its beauty. I think about how diverse humankind is. And I know that that diversity reveals the perfection of universal creation. Each of us expressing the universal creative principle. I release my past experience, welcome in the new, and I know that I am divine love. I awaken to all the possibility that's in me. I see the flow of creation in everyone. We're co-creating a world that works for everyone. And I have the freedom to care for all of humanity. I have wonderful personal gifts, unique to me. They are my expression in the world. They too express universal love. My intention, applied to universal law, is an unstoppable force. The infinite creative power is mine. Expressing myself in the world in my own unique way. I recognize that everyone is doing the same. I'm creating life, abundance, love in my own way. And I invite everyone to continue to breathe deeply and fully. I want everyone to think about a world where everyone is free to be themselves in the world, to be who they are. Think about a world where everyone is free to see the perfection all around them. I think about the vast array of choices available to me. And I think about my capacity to select for myself and create my world. I think about the perfect vitality that's flowing from universal source. About my own capacity to heal, no matter what experience I'm having. My physical form is the expression of me in the world. And I'm constantly changing, constantly expressing who I am. I'm constantly growing into perfection. And this is what I call good health. I'm grateful for my capacity to be healthy. The universal mind is higher wisdom. And the higher wisdom is mine. Inspired by that wisdom, I'm taking the actions to foster peak vitality in myself. And this is what I call self-care. I ask everyone to think about vitality, health and vitality. And feel it in whatever way you wish to experience it. And continue to breathe deeply and fully. think about all the blessings, all the resources that are available for me to achieve whatever I set my mind to. I'm open to receive the bounty of creation. It is unlimited according to my capacity to open up and receive it. Wealth and abundance is mine. And I invite everyone to think about abundance in whatever form means the most to you. It can be an abundance of support. Whatever good fortune means the most to you. Feel what it feels like to be prosperous and abundant. And continue to breathe fully without effort. All of humanity and all of the earth is in relationship. And in our relationships, all the spectrum of possibilities is there to create perfect relationships if we choose. I'm free to create loving and caring relationships. I ask everyone to think about the joy of perfect relationship. Think about whatever relationships are most important. And think about perfect relationship and feel the divine love. And I invite everyone to continue to breathe deeply and fully. There's incredible creativity in all of manifest creation. I'm free to appreciate the creativity and the wonders of the earth. I'm awestruck at my own capacity to create. By presenting myself to the world in the best way possible, this is my act of caring. And I'm grateful for the gifts that are uniquely mine. I look around and see the diversity of gifts that everyone has to offer. And I honor what everyone has to bring to humanity. I invite everyone to think about their own unique gifts. I invite everyone to think about whatever form of creativity is most important to you. And remember that we bring creativity to everything we do. Continue to breathe deeply and fully. Grateful for all the bounty, all the blessing that's available to me, and all the love that surrounds me. Just as each of us presents ourselves in the world in our own unique way, each of us gives gratitude in our own unique way, and I invite everyone to give gratitude. I recognize the wonder in my life. I release my word as law, knowing my power to create. And I invite everyone to join me in saying, and so it is. And now I invite everyone to open your eyes, attend to the rest of this wonderful service. Thank you for being here. Namaste.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
Oh, just beautiful. Wow. I am between the meditation and that song. I am just floating. Yes, I'm going to levitate.
Yeah.
And for my next trip,
Exactly. Exactly.
or trip works too, doesn't
A
it?
trip, yep. You can take a trip. Take a long trip
Yes.
or a short trip. You know.
There you go. Well, I believe that we're bringing Nick back in now to talk about our affirmation and our theme. Hi, Nick. That was an amazing meditation. Wow, that was just 15 minutes of beautiful, beautiful meditation and prayer. Wow.
Well, thank you.
You're
When
welcome.
I began going to a New Thought congregation 21 years ago, the people who led the meditation had a style. And when I became a practitioner quite a few years later, that's the style I used. It was still in my mind.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we've both been in New Thought just about the same amount of time. I think it's been 22 years for me since I first walked into a New Thought church. It's been a wonderful way to care for myself. There's a segue for you.
Yes. Yes.
So that is our theme for the month is caring. So let me ask you, How have you been caring for yourself this month? Is there anything extra that you're doing?
Well, first off, I'm going to make a confession. I felt so stressed at times coming down to the end of the ministry program that I forgot to do self-care. But I remembered in good time and I went back to it.
Good. Well, having been there, I know this is it's a very high stress time. It's a good time to remember who you are.
Yes, and who I am is someone very knowledgeable about spiritual techniques. So why don't I use them now? And
that's always the question, isn't it?
and I actually use something I learned long before I discovered New Thought. I used to be interested in Chinese and Japanese medicine, and I learned a set of stretches that were theoretically connected to shiatsu therapy. They actually look like yoga when I do them, but culturally they're a different nation. And they've been really wonderful for helping me maintain and control stress. And I've been using them since, believe it or not, the 1980s. And I've been going back to them now. So I never forgot the old techniques that I learned.
Isn't it interesting how we have such a vast toolbox, and some of those tools end up on the bottom of the toolbox and we forget to bring them up and out and to use them. So good for you.
Yeah, no,
it sounds like you found something to get you through.
Yep. And he also used a heart coherence technique that I learned from a heart math teacher, which was a very practical course. It wasn't to teach the stuff; it was to use it. And I calmed. I find that's a really good way to calm my nervous anxiety. And I'd say very consistently with New Thought, because they're all about getting one feeling replaced with a better, more life-affirming feeling.
Yes, choosing that we actually get to choose how we feel based on, a whole chain of events. But still, it's wonderful to remember that. And New Thought is, for me, you never get to just wallow. I mean, you can, but you are, and you're at choice because you're wallowing. Or, aren't you aware, like when you're really stressed, like, oh, there's another option here. And sometimes we don't engage that other option right away, but we're aware, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does the effect of living in this caring way have on your experience? Is it translating into your end of ministerial experience, going into your exams and your panels? And
yes, it is. And I'm finding that I've got totally overwhelmed by all the responsibilities I've taken on, and all the self-care is helping me get things done. And I'm going to add to that, along with the things I already mentioned, that we've become a really close-knit group in the class. We're giving each other tremendous support to help each other do well. And that's another resource, another bounty that I'm taking advantage of.
that is so important. It is a deep bonding experience going through ministerial together, and that support just means so much. And again, I think sometimes we forget that we always have support. We forget to reach out and to engage it. But in general, we are always supported by people. I think it's human nature to want to see each other do well, to root for one another.
Yeah.
And that feels really good, whether you're giving it or receiving it.
Yes, and I know all about that go it alone attitude. I think I'm moving past that to a large extent.
Great. I'm going to know you have moved past that. Let's just know. Yeah, I'm done with that. And it'll show up again, but then you can just say, oh yeah, I'm done with you. That's kind of how I play that. I mean, stuff does show up, but when I see it, I'm just like, oh yeah, all right, you look familiar and I don't need you anymore. And let me reach out for some support or do some self-care or some stretching or whatever it takes for me to get back to that centered knowing. So why is it important that you focus on caring, especially as you're moving into ministerial exams and panels? And I'll say, as you're moving into being a minister, as a minister, why is it so important to practice self-care?
Well, one obvious answer to that question would be, I've got to do what I'm telling everyone to do.
Yeah.
But everything is easier, and I know that the practitioner experience, the practitioner studies experience, and a few years later the ministerial studies experience, it all challenged me in a big way. All my old thoughts, the thoughts that stopped me from doing things, have come to the surface, and I've had to say, get out of here, I've got a new thought.
Yeah.
And that's where all the self-care tricks that I know come into play.
Absolutely. And as a minister, it's just, I think we can only be there for others at the level that we're there for ourselves. It needs to be balanced. If we're not taking care of ourselves, like you said, we're not setting a good example, but we're also, we're not refueled. We can't give out what we don't have. And being in that flow and that energy of life is just so vital to being a good minister. We need self-care and in order to care for others. So great job, Nick. I'm so excited for you. I'm going to be away in June, so I think the next time I see you, you will be Reverend Nick, and that will be very exciting to call you that. But I'm going to know it's done already. I have no doubt. So it's just wonderful to connect with you, and we'll see you a little bit later. Oh, wait, we need our affirmation. I almost forgot.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes. So I'll say it twice. Join me the second time.
Okay.
I care for myself by remembering who I am. And with me, I care for myself by remembering who I am.
That's a great affirmation, isn't it? Because when we remember who we are, self-care is a given.
Yes, and all my recent studies the last 2 years have really driven home the point about who I am. Grateful to incorporate it at that level. Yes.
Yeah, of all our things that we say and focus on, for me, remembering who I am, it's a great shortcut to get to where I need to be. So thank you so much, Nick. And I guess we'll see you a little bit later. And I'm going to dive in now.
Okay.
All right. So, caring, interesting topic, interesting theme this month. At first, I was like, oh, I need to sit with this one a bit. I was very into wonder. Wonder just really spoke to me. And I talked to you a little bit last month about taking the time to wander so that we can be in wonder, so that we can have that sense of spaciousness. I think that is just so key and so important. So I'm pleased to report back that I took my own advice, go figure. And every single morning I've been getting up and walking in nature or local nature. And we have baby ducks down at the pond, and their fuzzy little butts just make me smile. They always go upside down and their little duck butts sit on top of the water. And it just makes my heart sing, and watching them grow and double in size like every third day. It's amazing how fast little nature babies grow, I guess, because they have to. The turtles and all of it has just been really feeding me and helping me to, it's like a meditation really, that I'm able to tap into this energy that is always around, and it's become my way of self-caring to the point where it's non-negotiable now. I just get up and I have a cup of coffee first, but then I'm out the door before it gets too hot. I live in the desert, so that's a necessity as well. And it's the way I really breathe into who I am by connecting with the life that is around me. And we've been reading in one of my classes that I'm taking a book called Radical Acceptance. And if you haven't read it, by Tara Brach, it is wonderful and a very nurturing book. And it really speaks to the decisions I've made about how to do life, because favorite my favorite quote, but I'll say it's more than my favorite quote. It's the quote I base my life on, is to everything that has been, I say thank you. And to everything that will be, I say yes. And that's Dag Hammarskjöld, who was the UN secretary in the 80s. I love that quote. The first time I heard it, it made me think, what would life be like if I just accepted it on its terms, not judging things as good and or bad, but just being really present to what is, not resisting life. And it's had a big impact on me. And so this book, Radical Acceptance, is very much about that. She says, whenever we wholeheartedly attend to the person we're with, to the tree in front of our yard, or to the squirrel perched on a branch, this living energy becomes an intimate part of who we are. Spiritual teacher Jay Krishnamurti wrote that to pay attention means we care, which means we are really love. Attention is the most basic form of love. By paying attention, we let ourselves be touched by life, and our hearts naturally become more open and engaged. Isn't that a beautiful passage? Attention, of course, attention is everything, because what we pay attention to expands. That's the most fundamental basics of our teaching. Where attention goes, energy flows. When we stop and pay attention, we're engaging the hidden bond that exists between all life. We drop into being itself and recognize that interconnectedness, and then we experience wholeness. And it really doesn't get any better than that. When we can sense what's around us always. Miracles, the definition I've always used is ordinary events that currently lie outside our perception. So as we expand our perception, we let more and more of what feels miraculous into our lives. And I think in New Thought, that's really what we're most trying to get to. That experience of oneness, the experience of expanded consciousness and awareness of all the good that's available to us in any given moment. And I really finding that is the way to care for myself, to tap into that. And when I do, I'm caring for others as well, because I'm actually present with them. And isn't there no better gift than to be really present with somebody? Have you ever been with someone who you feel like you are the only person in the world in that moment? You have their full attention, And it's almost an odd experience because it happens so seldom. We're rushing around. We're often thinking other things. And I know I'm guilty of that. My poor husband will say something, and 10 minutes later, I'm like, what? Um, I'm not present. And so to take a moment and a breath and to really be with somebody is like the greatest gift we can give them. It's it's the greatest gift we can give ourselves. So I'm always practical. I'm always thinking, how do I bring more of this into my life? How do I remember to use those tools that are at the bottom of the toolbox sometimes? How do I spread them all out and look at them and pick them up and actually use them to create the life that I want? So I love acronyms. I think acronyms are fun. They make things easy to remember. So I came up with a little acronym for caring. And the first one, of course, C, consciousness. Just being awake and aware of everything that is around us makes such a difference. Not to doze off, not to check out, but to really be aware and conscious and tune into the energy and feel it. Because didn't you notice, like in the meditation with Nick, I could feel the energy around me and flowing through me, and to the point where there was no difference between the inner and the outer energy. It was just one energy. And it felt amazing. And I have that same experience on my walks. Even though I'm moving, there's something about that energy, and I'm conscious of it. I'm aware of it. So to be conscious is the first step. And then appreciation. I love that word. It's a it like carries a vibration with it, doesn't it? To appreciate something is really to be with it, is to engage with it on a very heart-centered level. It's a different vibration than gratitude. Gratitude's really important, and we'll get to that eventually. But appreciation for all life, for the smallest little life forms, for that squirrel perching in the tree, for the dove nesting in my tree in the backyard. I'm so delighted. I couldn't say, oh my goodness, you're so welcome, and I will do my best to protect you and not let the gardeners next to you. And boy, I heard the gardener and I was running out there because I was so honored in a weird way that this dove was going to nest in my yard, and being appreciative of that life, and that life was about to bring more life into the world. There's just something about appreciation. And it also makes me think of Gandhi and the Dalai Lama, right? They have an appreciation for life that's like next level. No matter what happens, they're able to say yes to it, to be with it fully and completely, and to know that it comes with a pony, right? That there is a gift attached to everything. That even when things are happening that we wouldn't necessarily consciously choose, that we can lean into them and demand to see the good in it. Demand that there is something here for me that I can use to wake myself up, to make myself even more conscious. And then, of course, recognition, recognizing who I am, but recognizing who everybody else is, and recognizing that all life has value. Nick said it a few times, a world that works for everyone. And in that, we include everything, every living being, all those things that we perceive maybe not to be living, but everything has value. It's all the same energy. And when we get to that oneness and that recognition that everything is energy and it's all the same energy, that's just next level. And then we're in relationship with it, a bonus R word, to be in relationship to everything in our life, to relate to it, to pay attention to it, back to appreciation. And of course, so we're at CAR, I is interconnectedness or intuition. Pick your own, make up your own acronym. There's so many that worked here, but interconnectedness spoke to me. But what I realized is when I recognize that interconnectedness, my intuition is like fully present, and I feel guided. I feel like all is well. That becomes my experience. And that I will always know what to do next, where to go next, or perhaps just to take a breath, to be in the gap for a bit. So intuition, interconnectedness, and of course, gratitude. But here's the thing, gratitude is so important. And it's also the gateway to grace. Grace to me is something we don't talk about a lot in this teaching. It's our unearned blessing. And I think oftentimes we believe we have to earn everything. And we even talk about being equal to. And yes, there's truth to that, but there is also grace, that space where it's just all there, because we're remembering who we are and we're taking time to care for ourselves and to care for each other, to recognize our connection to all life. And when we do that, life becomes sweet and we're able to say yes to it, to meet life on its own terms, that whatever shows up, I know who I am. I know all is well, always and in all ways. That's one of my favorite expressions. All is well, always and in all ways. And from that place, you just feel your body relax and take a deep breath. And then we're in possibility, aren't we? Then we get to see all our options. But first, we need to just breathe and be present. Nick spoke to it really beautifully, about we get caught up in stress and in doing, and we can forget so easily to care for ourselves, to care for those who we love. It's like the chatter of life mesmerizes us. And it's practicing that, coming back to center in whatever way works for you. Walking works for me, meditation works, swimming, when swimming season comes, that's the best. Find something, anything to do on a daily basis that becomes non-negotiable for you, that it means something to you and you can't wait to get to it, because those are the things that we're going to keep doing, aren't we? The things that we love. Create a love practice, something you enjoy so much you can't imagine not doing it. That is a great pathway to self-care. And I'm gonna, I almost forgot. I wanted to share a story with you. So as I was listening to this book, Radical Acceptance, and she was talking about being connected to everything, and I was just in this really blissful place, having just returned from my walk, and I was cleaning my pool, and there was a grasshopper, and he was just sitting there on the ledge, and seemingly looking at me, although it's hard to tell if a grasshopper's looking at you, but I felt like he was looking at me, and everywhere I went, I come back and he was still there. And finally I said, "What's up, buddy?" Kind of started talking to him. And I felt this overwhelming push to look down into my spot. And there was another grasshopper floating on its side. And I thought, "Oh, I bet that's your friend." And so I went and got a leaf and I fished out the grasshopper and it moved. It was still alive. I mean, I wasn't moving at all in the pool. And I was so like taken aback, and I brought it to the first grasshopper, and I was like, oh, here's your friend. And then I sat and just watched the two of them. And the one I'd fished out was this beautiful gold and kind of sparkly. I'd never seen another grasshopper like it. The one on the side was just very gray. As a matter of fact, almost difficult to tell them from the concrete. But this grasshopper was just the shimmering gold. And I got a great close-up picture and showed my husband, and he was like, wow, I've never seen another grasshopper like that. It was a really cool experience, but I would have missed it. I probably would have missed the first grasshopper, let alone the second grasshopper, had I not been in that space. And then there would be one less grasshopper. So I just thought that was really cool. And right after that, Tara Brock started talking about that deeper connection and paying attention to all life around us. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So I invite you to just practice caring, conscious appreciation, recognition, interconnectedness, and intuition. And now being present in this moment and being grateful for it all. So I'm going to close with an Ernest Holmes quote. The highest satisfaction comes from a sense of conscious union with the invisible life. All human endeavor is an attempt to get back to first principles, to find such an inward wholeness that all sense of fear, doubt, and uncertainty vanishes. And I'm going to add to that it no longer matters if all that vanishes, that we can coexist with whatever comes up and know that we are okay and remember who we are. Namaste. All right. Well, I think it's time for donations. So I invite you to click on the link on our website. You can also go to send an e-transfer to info@globaltruthcentertoronto.com. Then we have PayPal as an option for anybody outside the country who would like to support the center. And every donation is appreciated. Money is simply energy in action. It is a wonderful way to show that you care. It really is. It's a way to show that you care, that this center is here to support you, not just on Wednesdays, but 7 days a week. They have practitioners, wonderful practitioners like Nick, who are always ready and waiting to know the truth for you and to support you. So show them all a little love today with your donation. And we also have classes, and the class started last night with Dr. Liza Marquez, who is a good friend of mine. She is fabulous, and it's not too late to get in on that class. So I invite you to go to the website and click and sign up if you haven't already. I know she's got plenty of room. It's unlimited. It's on Zoom. And even if you can just drop in for one class, go ahead and do it. You need a little midweek inspiration, a little extra boost, a little extra tool in your toolbox. Dr. Liza's got plenty of them, and she's just a wonderful teacher. So please, please join us. And I just want to thank Pierre for all your wonderful music, Nick for your amazing meditation, and of course, Carrie behind the scenes running it all. We couldn't do it without her, that's for sure. And I think you're going to go ahead and take us home, Pierre, with a final song, yes?
I believe so. I think most people know this one. It's called Lean on Me. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can feel those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. So just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem you don't understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call me if you need a friend. Call me, oh, call me, oh, come on, call me, call me.
Have a great week, everyone. Namaste. See you next week.